Welcome, everybody. I'm Brandon Alter, and this is your Numinous Tarot forecast for the week of May 16th, 2019, the last week of Taurus season. And in this final week of Taurus season, Venus, the planet of love and beauty and how we relate to other people, moves into Taurus, where she is just so happy. And so this should be a really beautiful final send-off to Taurus season. And no surprise that the card I pulled for us is the Hierophant, who is the card in the tarot that is connected to Taurus. Isn't that magical? I love the way this stuff all works. So, the Hierophant. Who is the Hierophant? What does that word even mean? Okay, let me break it down for you. Hierophant comes from the Greek word Hierophantos, and the Hierophantos were the priests in ancient Greece that conducted all of the mystery rites. So, if you remember, ancient Greece had all those different gods and goddesses, and the Hierophantos were the ones that helped kind of bring people into those mysteries. So, we can think of the Hierophant as tradition, or as the shaman. We think of the Hierophant as the external structures that allow for mystery and internal wisdom to emerge. I really think of the Hierophant and the High Priestesses working together, right? Like, if you want to have a mystical experience, it's not going to happen in the grocery store, probably. You've got to create the container for it. So the tarot, even in and of itself, is a Hierophant activity. The tarot are these physical cards through which we can decipher messages. So this week is really inviting you into those structures, those spiritual structures, those traditions, those practices that allow you to tap into your own psychic and intuitive nature. Pretty cool. We have a full moon in Scorpio. It doesn't get witchier than that, everybody. This Saturday, full moon in Scorpio. And even just acknowledging the moon and the cycles of the moon can be Hierophant energy. You go, okay, the moon is full. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to do this little ritual. And as you're doing the structure of the ritual, all sorts of downloads or visions or insights come to you. That's how we can start to work with this Hierophant energy. Hierophant is also about deeper, higher learning. It's about learning the things that your soul is hungry for. So if you've been wanting to take a workshop in some sort of esoteric practice, if you've been wanting to pick up a book on the tarot, on astrology, on the Pleiades, on whomever or whatever it is, I would really encourage you to do it. This is the week where the right books are going to be put in your path. The right teachers are showing up for you. If there's a workshop that you've been wanting to take, this is the week to commit to it and to take it. Because the more you learn, the more you give yourself these structures, the more you're going to be able to engage with the High Priestess within yourself, with that intuitive and psychic energy that everyone has access to. So full moons, it's the peak of the moon's energy, right? So it can be about releasing. And with Scorpio, which is the sign of transformation, death, and rebirth, a full moon in Scorpio is an opportunity to release the things that have been blocking you from your transformation, the transformation that's been wanting to happen. And we know with Pluto and Saturn and Jupiter retrograde, we are being shown where we ignored the opportunities to transform in the past. So maybe you're like, I know I need to level up. I know I need to transform, but I don't know how to do that. Well, just pick a practice. Yoga, breath work, astrology, runes, candle magic. It really doesn't matter what it is. What matters is that you surrender yourself to the practice and let it lead you where it wants to lead you. If you're always switching, if you're always a beginner of all these different practices, you're not getting the depth. And so this full moon in Scorpio is an opportunity to release your fear or your resistance around a deeper transformation that wants to happen. Remember, every ending hides a beginning. If you're hungry for a new beginning, for a new identity, you have to find it in the ending. You have to acknowledge the deaths that want to occur. So the Hierophant is maybe the death of some structures, the death of some old ways of doing things. There's a concept called a working altar, which is essentially where you have all your sacred objects and you allow the altar to change. You're constantly reorganizing it. That's why it's called a working altar. If it becomes too crystallized or stagnant, it loses its magic. So you might consider, at the end of Taurus season, enlightened by this full moon in Scorpio, what structures in my life have become outdated? What structures need to be revitalized in order to allow the pure spirit of my intuition to be more present? Whew, gave me chills. All right. I love Taurus season and I love all of you. And as always, thank you for opening up your hearts and your ears and your third eyes to these messages. And I look forward to seeing you next week as we get into heady Gemini season. Lots of love to you.